In this issue, I will tell you a story about the rich people living a good life in the future, while the poor can only wait to die. In 2159, the Earth would be completely devastated by disease and pollution, and human beings lived a life of remnants. And the rich had already fled the Earth and immigrated to the blissful place called Elysium, far away from the Earth. The facilities here were advanced and citizens enjoyed the life of heaven. Every household had a medical machine that could cure all diseases. Just laid down and did a full body scan, 100% of all disease defects could be eliminated in a moment. There were countless robots for them to build, and a sense of technology was everywhere. In contrast, poor people on Earth were living in extreme misery. Max was an orphan and had lived a miserable life since childhood. Seeing human beings were killed by disease, but he couldn't do anything. He always looked at the Elysium in the sky, yearning for a carefree life. Max complained about the injustice of the world because since he was a child he had a dream. He hoped he could take the girl he liked to live in the blissful place. However, the dream of childhood was wiped out by the years. He could only struggle for his life in the area with piles of waste. The managers of this place were all robots planted in legal procedures, which were extremely strict. Max was beaten up in the street for breaking the law for a joke. Even high-level personnel were unreasonable robots, and he was sentenced without being given a chance to explain. Ironically, the place where Max worked was the factory where the robot was made. The boss was John, an entrepreneur from Elysium, and the procedures in Elysium were also controlled. There was trouble with the machine, Max repaired it and failed to run out in time. He was exposed to high levels of radiation, and the medical robot said he would die in 5 days. But John only urged the progress of the work and didn't care about Max's life or death. Max, who was dying, thought of Elysium. Any illness could be cured as long as you went there, so he took his friend Julio to find Spider. Spider was the only one who could help the poor to reach Elysium. Even if the cost of a ticket was high, countless people would go bankrupt. Spider would also engrave them with exclusive identities as citizens of Elysium. But most people just wanted to treat diseases in Elysium as a citizen. Max used to be a subordinate of Spider. Spider asked Max to give him the last boat and sent him to the Elysium. The goal was to rob the rich in Elysium to go to Earth. Spider gave Max an organic device. As long as he plugged the device into the brains of the rich, he could download their bank information and get huge wealth. But the target of the robbery Max requested was his ruthless boss John. Spider only wanted to be wealthy, he didn't care about the target, he agreed to Max's request. At the same time, the female executives of Elysium, Delacourt, traded with John. This woman was cruel, and all the poor who smuggled from the Earth were killed by her without hesitation. She wanted to control the world and needed John to help her rewrite the robot code, launch a coup and helped her become the new president. John wrote the subsystem and prepared to return to Elysium. Max had also been transformed into a mecha warrior, and his brain was planted with organic equipment. John's spacecraft took off and was shot down by Max, who had been waiting for a long time. Delacourt learned that John was shot down. She hurriedly contacted Kruger, who was lurking on the Earth to support. The transformed Max's combat effectiveness exploded, and John's robot bodyguard was soon scrapped. John was also hit by a stray bullet in the chaos. Fortunately, his brain was not injured. Everyone hurriedly inserted the device into John's brain and downloaded the data to Max's brain. At this time, Kruger also rushed over, and a few shots wiped out Max's teammates. Julio was stabbed to death by Kruger to save Max, only Max escaped. Max, who escaped the hunt and came to Spider's base, Spider told Max, the government had sealed off this area to arrest him, and no spacecraft could escape. And the only hope to break the line of defense was the data in his mind. When Spider opened Max's brain, he was stunned, he found the key to the world that he could control. As long as he controlled the data, he could make everyone a legal citizen of Elysium. Everyone on the planet would be saved, but it took a week to crack the data. But Max only had a few hours left to live, he refused to Spider. He found Kruger, who was searching for him, and threatened Kruger to take him to Elysium for treatment. Otherwise, he would blow up the data. Kruger agreed to his request, boarded the spaceship, and drove to Elysium. Spider looked for Max's position and also chased up. On the way, Kruger suddenly attacked Max to subdue him. Max was controlled by Delacourt. She wanted to force him to download the data in his mind. At the critical moment, Max broke the adrenaline and escaped from the restraint. Kruger learned that the information in Max's brain could control the world. As soon as they resolved Delacourt, they bombed the control room and prepared to become president. Max came here but only saw a mess. He saw Spider chasing him during the surveillance, then told Spider to join him to go into the treatment room. Then let Spider decipher the information in his brain so that everyone could become a legal citizen of Elysium. Kruger asked his subordinates to put on the mecha for him and found Max aggressively. The enemy was extremely jealous, and the two immediately fought together. Sure enough, the agent was not just a title. Max was quickly beaten and retreated. Max dragged Kruger's brain system connector and defeated him. Spider broke through the defense system and the two ran into the control room. The robot guards at the rear also chased up, they did not have time to crack the data. They could only download from Max's mind, but Max would die. He wanted all poor people to enjoy the treatment in Elysium. He didn't hesitate to press the enter key. Spider modified the command. The film's final robots treated all poor people as legal citizens. They detected patients on the Earth and automatically drove the spacecraft to the Earth. People all over the world enjoyed the treatment of all diseases. Okay, this issue is over now. Please like and subscribe. I'll upload the video as soon as possible. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.